Hi. Hello. Yeah. Okay. Great. Yeah. So I went to Korea. I did a lot of things in Korea. You know what? I feel this is a long story. I got my hair done in Korea. She f***ed my shit up, if I'm gonna be really honest. As you can tell, my roots are a completely different color. It's okay. I'll figure it out. I figured of all things to get in Korea, my hair is fine. Your skin to be shiny. Okay, so let me tell you. So I went on this Korea trip and I had really low expectations. I was kind of like, basically this whole trip, like it was a film just lost in translation, which is a movie. If you haven't seen it, it's pretty good. I obviously did a bunch of things to my skin and I got a color analysis. Color analysis was not great. My translator honestly bailed on me, which made this whole trip really hard. I really only pulled the trigger on the trip because I found a translator. And I was like, great, because it was too much to think about if I didn't. But I saw her for my color analysis and then she's like, oh yeah, I won't be able to make your appointment tomorrow. And I was like, oh, okay, that's fine. I'll figure it out. What about my other appointment? And then she's like, we'll talk about it. And then I was like, is that her polite way of saying I'm not gonna be there? Which I figured was exactly what's happening. So I go to my first appointment and I chat with a doctor. Well, they don't really know what to do with me. I'm sitting in an office and this individual comes in who does speak a little bit of English, but it's a little broken. So I tell him my whole history. I'm like, yeah, I've had problems for the last 4 years. I think it started around here. I have breakouts, they're pretty chronic. And then he's like, okay, great. And he's like writing this all down. Then he looks up and he's like, so I actually am not a skin doctor. I work in the obesity clinic, like 2 floors up. I was like, okay. So I'm just sitting here for a little bit of time and another doctor comes in and his English is actually like very good. It's like his vocabulary is insane. Like it's not that he speaks really well, but I think for the most part, he understands me. I tell him my whole history again. He's basically like, okay, let me look at you. I'm like, okay. And he's staring at my face and he's like, okay, I recommend 3 things: XLV, Thermage, and Regerin. Regerin, I have no idea. And I'm like, okay, like, do you have any idea like why my skin might be this way given my history? Now, he thinks that 1 year ago, literally like a year ago, this September of last year, I went to a famous doctor who works with a bunch of celebrities. Okay, so I was like, you know what? Like, he's gotta be trustworthy. This guy's gotta be the guy. So I go to this dude. I'm like, hey, yeah, I've had skin my whole life. It's been getting worse and worse. You see, I have a lot of inflammation, a lot of scarring, whatever. And he's like, I know exactly what we should do. Let's do cool laser. Call it good. He's like, I have availability today. I'm like, oh, if you don't know, cool laser is a fraxel laser. It's a CO2 fraxel laser. In other words, it is like one of the most invasive lasers you can get done. And this happened to me. So he's like, okay, let's start with XLV. This is where I think I also learned to trust him a little bit because he's like, okay, today we'll only do XLV. We'll only do this one laser. Not invasive, not painful. And come back tomorrow. And if you have a reaction, we won't do anything. I do XLV and I actually noticed immediate results. Like I still have redness, but this is, guys, for my skin, I've never had this before. I do that and I'm like, oh, wow. Okay. I come back him the next day and he's like, any reactions, any pain? And I'm like, no, not at all. He's like, great, okay, we'll do Thermage and Regerin today. He was like, I really think you should use laughing gas when we do Regerin. I was like, no, you know, I'm alone in Korea. So thankfully a friend of a friend messages me before I'm like at this appointment and she's like, oh, what the hell, I saw that you're in Korea. I'm in Korea, you want to meet up? I was like, yes, let's meet up. What's cool? Her name is Lisa. Lisa speaks Korean. It was like the universe just put us together. She comes with me to the appointment and it goes so much smoother. I'm able to ask all of my questions. I'm completely relieved. And basically he again clarified, I would like, you should just take the laughing gas. This is gonna be really painful. So I'm like, okay, mistake number 1. Trust your gut. Every time I don't trust my gut, I'm like punished. So I get Thermage done. They do another layer of numbing cream and he keeps warning me and he's like, this is gonna hurt. I'm like, okay. He's like, laughing gas. I'm like, okay. They bring out the laughing gas. I'm already I'm scared. I'm like, or not scared, but I'm stressed. I'm a little nervous. I inhale the laughing gas for probably like 5 inhale exhales. I open my eyes and I don't know how to explain this other than my body thought I was dying. It was so strange. So in my head, I'm like flailing my arms. I'm like, stop. I have to stop inhaling this laughing gas. I have to stop. And I'm like trying to communicate stop, but I can't. To me, it felt like my body was like up here and I'm down here, and I can't get up here. If you've ever experienced like an anxiety attack or panic attack or like anything like that, it was like that, but like 100 times worse. Like literally the worst feeling I've ever felt in my life was that. So like I said, I'm trying to flail my arms and get them to stop. In reality, I'm not flailing my arms at all. I asked Lisa and she's like, no, you were kind of like this. I'm like, that's crazy. That's crazy. And I'm also like I remember trying to grab someone's hand because I like was so scared. Like I was just genuinely so fearful. And then they disconnect the laughing gas. I'm like, what's wrong? What's wrong? I was like, I remember just saying, I'm scared. And it was so like thinking back, I'm so sad for her because yeah, I was just so scared. And then the doctor said to me, he was like, oh, in broken English, he's basically like, yes, 1 out of 10, nightmare. Yeah, okay, that's me. I'm the one. And it was nightmare. It was. I said, nightmare. That was nightmare. And so he probably gave me, I don't know, 15 seconds. And he said, I'm gonna get started now. Okay. It's supposed to give you like really glowy skin, super hydrated, helps with healing, scarring, all of that. You are getting injected with a needle in a grid all over your face. We finished that and they're like, now they're doing like aftercare and they're trying to like put a little mask on me and let me relax a little. Meanwhile, I'm just crying. I'm just crying.
The lash details,
I'm literally
so cunty.
My eyes are closed and there's a face mask on me and the tears will not stop flowing. I can't stop them. Like I literally just can't stop them. Like I'm in my head. I remember just thinking to myself like, girl, you're okay. Like it's fine. I'm alive. I'm fine. But I'm crying. And so in my head, I'm like, this better fix my acne. Like this is crazy. It's finished. I actually don't have any bruising, which I think is pretty crazy. Like I just got it all over my face and I did 2 lasers and like you could tell. Okay, you gotta see it for like a moment. So it looked like that. I did feel a little crazy walking around in public, but I also just didn't care. Like after what I emotionally went through, I was like, I don't care. I don't care if you stare at me. And so as you guys know, I have my Aura ring and it's really funny because I could see when my heart rate rises, it'll be like, oh, you're having a good day. And then all of a sudden it's in the red zone. It's like jumped from 20%, but I finished it all up. And I think I learned a lot. I think I learned a lot specifically when it came to my skin and like how the first laser I got probably put me 10 steps back. It's another thing that I learned that I flew for a long amount of time, but then I flew first class to Korea and I felt like I teleported. I was like, 1 minute I'm just sitting in first class drinking my orange juice, reading my book, and the next I'm in Korea. And then same flying home. It's like, wow. So it was really enjoyable. It was very easy.